CEO laughs at Black Maid, but what happens next will reveal an incredible, life-changing secret. Mia tightened her grip on the cleaning cloth, her heart pounding against her chest. It had been a long day, a build-up of countless hours spent juggling 2 jobs while dreaming of becoming a nurse. She stood in a luxurious penthouse high above the Chicago skyline, the glimmering city lights flickering like a million tiny stars below her. As she wiped down a marble countertop, she overheard the brash laughter of Tom, a successful CEO, dismissing her existence with an air of superiority that cut deep. "Can you believe these people?" He chuckled, his voice dripping with condescension. "What next? A maid with aspirations?" Mia felt a knot of anger twist in her stomach, but she steeled herself. These moments were fleeting, and her children depended on her resilience. As she busied herself, she caught snippets of his conversation with stressed board members, their voices taut with tension. "We're facing a financial crisis," one of them said. "Hundreds of jobs are on the line." The weight in the air thickened, pressing down on her from all sides. She felt a sense of impending fate, like thunder rolling across a darkened sky. Moments later, without warning, Tom stumbled and fell, a picture of arrogance crumbling to the floor. She rushed over instinctively, her heart racing. "Are you all right?" she asked, her voice steady despite the whirlwind inside her. He winced, clearly struggling. "I can't. It's my leg," he stammered. In that instant, the tables turned. He needed her help. She bent down, her hands gently supporting him. "You're going to be fine," she reassured him, urging her own nerves to calm. In that vulnerable moment, as she systematically assessed the situation, Tom's eyes met hers. The laughter faded, replaced by a flicker of realization. "Maybe I underestimated you," he muttered. Mia felt the cracks in his facade, but she knew words alone wouldn't change anything. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Days slipped by, and Mia found herself speaking at a local community event, her voice strong and filled with conviction. "We all have stories," she began, her heart racing. "My struggle to provide for my children while dreaming of nursing isn't unique. It's ours." Her words hung in the air, sparking a transformation in the crowd, igniting compassion in the hearts of listeners. Tom watched from the back, feeling an awakening as the veil of privilege began to lift. He realized how deep the divide ran, how little he had truly understood. In that moment, their lives intertwined, drawing paths that challenged their identities and futures. Would he back Mia's aspirations, facing the unquantifiable guilt of his past and the privilege he never questioned? A question loomed: could their connection bridge a chasm built by societal prejudice? The weight of their worlds pressed down, and as both Mia and Tom stood at a crossroads, hope hung tantalizingly in the air, an opportunity for both to not just dream but change their realities forever. Mia could hardly sleep that night. Thoughts tumbled around in her head, swirling with nervous energy. How had a simple moment turned into something potentially life-altering? She tried to brush off the weight of Tom's gaze, that unexpected glimmer of respect in his eyes, but it kept pulling her back like a thread unraveling deep inside her. The sun rose early, casting fragile rays through her half-drawn curtains. The soft light warmed her face, offering a gentle reminder that today held potential. She had promised herself to wake with purpose, to keep pushing toward the nursing school applications that still loomed over her like a mountain. At the same time, there was a sense of urgency brewing within her. She recalled the murmurs in the boardroom, warnings about jobs being on the line. A chill ran down her spine as she considered that Tom might be the key to something greater than either of them had imagined. Mia put on her best dress for the coffee shop meeting she had agreed to with Tom. It wasn't fancy, but she felt it carried the weight of her dreams. The coffee shop buzzed with the hum of conversation as she arrived, but her focus was singular. Spotting him at a corner table, a world of ambition collided with unease. He looked different, the remnants of his bravado in disarray, eyes shadowed by the stress of his reality. "Thank you for coming," he managed, his voice carrying a tinge of humility. "Of course," she replied, sliding into the chair opposite him. "I wasn't sure you wanted to see me again after you know." Tom chuckled lightly, a sound barely escaping under the heavy tension. "I've been thinking about what you said at the event. I realize I have so much to learn." She searched his face for signs of sincerity, yet doubt pricked at her resolve. "This isn't about me educating you, Tom. It's about understanding where you stand as a leader. I want to help." "I know I can do better," he said, leaning forward, his urgency palpable. "How about I sponsor your nursing schooling?" Her breath caught in her throat, disbelief flooding her thoughts. "Why would you do that? You barely know me." "Exactly," he replied quietly. "That's why I want to change. I want to be better, and supporting someone like you might help me understand what I've lost sight of." The cafe felt smaller, filled with possibilities and past mistakes, and Mia found herself grappling with emotions as they churned like a storm inside her. Could she trust him? The fear of failure and resentment clashed within her thoughts, almost drowning out his words. "What's the catch?" she asked, her voice a whisper. "There's no catch. I believe in you, and let's be honest. I need to build bridges, not walls," he replied earnestly. "But we can only do that if we work together." Mia's heart raced, her dreams flickering on the edge of hope and skepticism. The offer dangled like fruit just out of reach. "What if things go wrong? Then we'll figure it out together," he promised, a spark igniting in his eyes. With each word, the burden of doubt began to lift slightly, replaced by a flicker of hope. Yet, as Mia considered his proposition, she sensed the hidden complexities of their lives intertwining her struggles and his privileges, creating a unique fabric woven from both aspiration and redemption. "Let's do this," she finally said, her voice steadier than she felt. "But I need to know you're serious about this change." He nodded, a hint of relief washing over him. "I am. We can make this work." In a moment both fragile and potent, they sealed an unspoken agreement, standing at the precipice of transformation, but as they moved forward, an unexpected email notification pinged on his phone, stealing the moment. Tom glanced down, his face paling. "Mia, I think I just got some bad news." Her heart sank. Were they truly ready for what lay ahead? As the words hung between them, the uncertainty of tomorrow loomed larger than ever. What would the bad news mean for their fragile partnership? Mia felt the air shift between them, heavy with the weight of Tom's unspoken news. She could hardly breathe as the anxiety coiled tight in her chest. "What is it?" she asked, her voice trembling. Tom swiped at his phone, his hands shaking, while Mia leaned forward, searching his eyes for answers. "It's from the board," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "They're cutting funding for some programs, my program." The word struck her like lightning. The excitement of their conversation evaporated, leaving the bitter taste of reality. "Why, you mean?" "Yeah," he continued, his brow furrowing. "They're planning layoffs. Some of my team are going to be out of work, and I don't know how this will affect your sponsorship." A hollow sensation filled the space around her. The hope they'd just forged seemed to teeter on the edge of a cliff. "I can't believe this. This was supposed to be our moment," she said, the sting of tears rising. "What now?" "I don't know," Tom admitted, running a hand through his disheveled hair. "I'll fight for them. I'll fight for you. I promise." Her heart ached at his desperate determination, but doubt gnawed at her. What if it's not enough? What if you can't? What if you're the one who loses everything? Tom met her gaze fiercely, his eyes alive with a mixture of fear and resolve. "If I go down, I'll go down fighting. But I don't want you to lose your chance because of me." Bracing against the tidal wave of emotions, Mia took a deep breath, collecting the thoughts that threatened to drown her. "We need a plan. This can't be the end." "Okay," he replied, his shoulders straightening under the weight of their shared uncertainty. "We can come up with something. Maybe we can create a fundraising campaign or we contact former sponsors. Some bigger players might want to invest in the future of nursing," she suggested, her voice gaining strength. With that flicker of hope sparking in the dim atmosphere, they leaned into their urgency, brainstorming ways to confront the impending crisis together. It felt powerful, invigorating even, to have a shared goal amidst the chaos. As minutes slipped by, ideas bounced back and forth between them like energy igniting a dark room. There was something unexpectedly comforting in the fragility of their partnership, even as the storm loomed overhead. But just as they started to solidify their plans, Tom's phone pinged again. Both their hearts sank in anticipation. This wasn't good. "It's my boss," he said, looking even more worried. "I have to take this." Mia's stomach twisted as she nodded, forcing a smile to encourage him. "Go. I'll wait here." Watching him pull away to take the call felt like watching her dreams slip further away. She struggled with her own thoughts, replaying their earlier conversation. Could this partnership withstand the weight of their realities? After what felt like eternity, Tom returned with a pallor that chilled her bones. "Mia, they want me to lead a task force to address the funding cuts," he said, his voice low. "But you have to understand, things will be tight. I might not be able to commit as much to your sponsorship." "Then we'll find another way," she said, determination hardening her voice. "I won't give up. Not now." As they both stared into the overwhelming uncertainty, Mia realized how intertwined their futures had become. What started as a simple offer had morphed into a shared struggle filled with potential. But could their fragile alliance truly survive the forces of the corporate world? Tom took a step closer, the desperation in his eyes mingling with hope. "We'll figure this out, right?" "Absolutely," Mia replied, but deep inside, doubts flickered unchecked, gnawing at her heart. The buzz of the cafe faded into silence. In that moment, she couldn't shake the feeling that something beyond their control hung in the balance. Just how far would they go to overcome their fates? As they left the cafe, the door closing behind them, Mia couldn't help but wonder, what sacrifices would they face in the name of their dreams? The air was thick with tension as they stepped out of the cafe. The chaos of the world outside seemed trivial compared to the turmoil brewing inside them. Mia wrapped her arms around herself, the chill of uncertainty creeping in, weaving its way through her thoughts. "Where to next?" Tom asked, his voice strained, a thin veneer of bravado covering his worry. Mia glanced at him, searching for the strength he always seemed to exude. "We need to brainstorm more. Maybe we can gather some of my old classmates. There's strength in numbers, right?" "Absolutely," he agreed, the weight of responsibility shifting his focus. The determination in his eyes flared again, igniting a spark of hope in her chest. As they walked, Mia's mind churned with ideas, her feelings a blend of anxiety and desperate optimism. Memories of study groups filled with laughter and late-night study sessions teased her thoughts. They had been so carefree then, not burdened by adult realities. "Do you remember our first term?" she said suddenly, a smile breaking through her frown. "We thought we'd change the world in one semester." Tom chuckled softly, the sound a balm to her frayed nerves. "We really did. Who knew nursing involved so much drama? I mean, you'd think we were in a soap opera with all of that." Their laughter faded, but the warmth lingered, reminding Mia that amidst the uncertainty, they had each other. "So what do you think your team would need? If we were to organize something, where's the biggest gap in funding they would feel?" Tom asked, turning serious again. "The lab. Supplies, equipment, it's all outdated," Mia replied, her mind racing to connect dots. If we could target fundraising there and show how only a little can go a long way. Great idea. He paused, his lips tightening, as if wrestling with thoughts. But how do we get the word out? The right people need to hear it. As they passed a park, Mia's eyes caught a group of students promoting a campus event. They were handing out flyers and laughing, their vibe a stark contrast to the heaviness they carried. What if we have an event? A nursing awareness day where we can pitch our ideas and make it fun? Tom nodded, visibly warming to the idea. We could create a network. Involve social media for more reach. Let us use our contacts. You know people in positions who could help. Exactly. Campus influencers, alumni. But as she spoke, a shadow of hesitation flickered across Tom's face. Mia, you realize how intense this is going to get, right? We might be taking on more than we can handle. Maybe, she admitted, but we can't just sit and wait for the board to make decisions that destroy lives. We owe it to your team, to our future. Nodding, he paused to gather his thoughts before asking, where would we even start? With every piece of the plan falling into place, an unexpected burst of adrenaline surged through Mia. First, we make a list of contacts. Then, we write that mission statement. And we focus on the impact. We show people at the heart of these cuts their real lives. Tom's eyes grew brighter, the flicker of hope rekindling. Let us do it then. Let us give this a shot, he said, determination etched in his features, but amid their ambitious plans, something nagged at Mia. What if this wasn't enough? What if they failed? The thought was jarring, the looming dread insistent. Yet, when she turned to Tom, she recognized the determination in his gaze. They were all they had. They strolled deeper into the park, laughter drifting from nearby families, and their pace quickened with newfound purpose. As they prepared to make their move, the stakes seemed impossibly high. Mia, Tom said, stopping short. What if this is exactly what we need to change things? His question hung heavy in the air, a turning point that made her heart race. They were on the brink of something bigger than both of them. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of what was to come. Then we'll dive in head first, she whispered, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead, but just as determination gripped them both, the wind shifted, and her phone buzzed in her pocket. The name on the screen sent a chill down her spine. It was a former sponsor. She exchanged a glance with Tom, and an unspoken agreement passed between them. What if this call held the key to everything they needed? With bated breath, she answered, unsure if hope or disaster awaited her on the other end. Mia's heart thudded in her chest as she held the phone to her ear. Hello? She said, her voice barely above a whisper. Hey, Mia. It's Rachel, came the cheerful voice, startling her. Rachel was a former sponsor and well-known advocate for nursing initiatives on campus. I've been meaning to reach out. Heard about the cuts. Just wanted to see if there's anything I can do to help. Mia felt a swell of hope. Rachel. Actually, yes. We're trying to organize a nursing awareness day to raise funds. We need all the help we can get. There was a pause on the other end, then Rachel exclaimed, That's perfect. I can speak at the event. I have some contacts at the hospital who might be able to donate supplies and even sponsor students. This could really gain traction. Mia's voice surged with excitement. Really? That would be amazing. Absolutely. Send me the details, and I'll share it with my network. You're on the right path, Mia. We can turn this around. Tom watched Mia, a mix of awe and admiration crossing his face. She felt her spirits lift like a balloon rising in the sky. For a moment, it felt as if they were on the edge of something monumental, and everything they dreamed of could suddenly be within reach. After hanging up, Mia beamed at Tom. That was Rachel. She's willing to speak at our event and pull in those hospital contacts. Wow, that's huge. Tom replied, his enthusiasm infectious. Sounds like we're building momentum here. As they walked further into the park, a vision began to take shape in Mia's mind. She could see the event in front of her, tables filled with information about nursing, streams of attendees eager to support their cause, the community coming together to stand up against cuts that threatened their future. "Let's South meet at my place tomorrow to start planning," Tom suggested, his determination palpable. "We need to finalize the details and how to promote it on social media." "Good idea. We should make a catchy hashtag too. Something that really represents what we're fighting for," Mia returned eagerly, her thoughts racing. Suddenly, Mia's phone buzzed again. This time, it was a message from one of her old classmates. "Mia. Heard about what's going on. Let's do a reunion. I have an idea that's going to blow your mind." Mia's brows shot up as she turned to Tom. "This could be bigger than we thought. I think it's all starting to fall into place." But just as they reached a clearing in the park where the sunlight broke through the trees, Mia felt a knot tighten in her stomach. What if all this enthusiasm led to nothing? What if they poured their hearts into this and it all fizzled out? Tom must have sensed her change in mood. "You okay?" "Yeah, just what if it doesn't work?" Mia confessed, the weight of doubt pressing down on her. "Then we figure it out. Together." His grip on her shoulder was firm, grounding her. "But we won't stop fighting until we try." In that moment, Mia found solace in his words. They were in this together, come what may. As they planned their next steps, laughter bubbled around them, children playing in the distance. Each giggle acted like a reminder of hope, renewal, the possibility of change. Slowly, they transitioned from anxious contemplation to a whirlwind of ideas, jotting down everything that came to mind. Hours melted away in genial conversation, and with every second, the foundation of their plan solidified. Mia could almost see it, the community rallying around their cause like a warm embrace, but just as they began to plot out their social media strategy, a loud rumble of thunder interrupted them. Signs of a downpour appeared in the distance, dark clouds swirling ominously. Mia looked to Tom, her heart racing again, but for a different reason. What if this storm is a sign? Or perhaps it's a challenge, Tom replied, his smile unwavering. Let us not get distracted now. Mia couldn't shake the feeling that something bigger than their event was approaching. She could feel it in her bones. But as she turned away to grab her things, the weight of uncertainty pressed heavy once more. What if the storm carried away more than just the temporary rain? Tomorrow it is then, Mia said, forcing determination back into her voice. As they parted ways, Mia glanced back at the darkened sky, the air filled with electricity. Was something more waiting for them beyond the clouds, something that would change their course forever? Tomorrow, it would all begin, but what else could possibly be lurking around the corner? The next morning dawned gray and heavy. Mia woke to the sound of raindrops tapping against her window. She took a deep breath, feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. Today was the day they would truly set their plans into motion. She made her way to Tom's apartment, her mind racing. What if Rachel's speech didn't bring in donations? What if word about the event fizzled before it even began? She pressed her fingers to her temples, attempting to push away the doubts. When she arrived, she found Tom already flipping through notebooks, his face focused. "Hey, you made it," he said, looking up with a smile that instantly warmed her heart. "Sorry I'm late." "I was thinking," Mia admitted, settling next to him in the cramped living room filled with scattered papers and coffee cups. "Thinking about how awesome this is gonna be, right?" Tom grinned, handing her a mug. The warm steam curled into the air, wrapping around her. "Of course," she replied, although she couldn't ignore the nagging voice whispering worries in the back of her mind. "Okay, let's talk hashtags first. Maybe something like Nurse Strong?" Tom suggested, scribbling the idea down energetically. "Or Nursing for the Future?" Mia countered, feeling her spirits lift as they tossed ideas back and forth. Before long, laughter filled the room as they brainstormed slogans and themes. Every pang of doubt began melting away, replaced by their shared enthusiasm. Suddenly, a loud knock broke the flow of their conversation. Startled, Mia exchanged a glance with Tom. Who could that be? Mia went to the door and opened it to find Rachel standing there, her face radiating positivity even through the drizzling rain. "I'm here. Ready to make some noise." Mia felt a flood of relief wash over her. Come in, come in." As Rachel stepped inside, she shook droplets from her umbrella, and the atmosphere shifted. There was an energy now, a spark that began to ignite Mia's aspirations even further. After introductions were exchanged, they settled around Tom's coffee table. "So, what's the plan?" Rachel asked, leaning forward, her eyes bright with determination. Mia pulled out her notes. "We want this event to not just raise funds but really bring awareness to the nursing crisis. We need people to understand what we're fighting for." "I love it," Rachel responded, her enthusiasm infectious. "Let's get local news involved. If we can get a story out there, it'll bring in even more support." "Yes. We have to highlight personal stories too. From nurses, students, even patients," Tom added. "Make it relatable." As ideas surged, Mia felt a sense of purpose surge through her veins. They began drafting outlines for a press release and planning how to reach out to local media. Every moment felt precious, each idea adding to the emerging vision of their event, but with every stroke of excitement, the storm loomed in the background. Thunder rolled ominously as dark clouds swirled outside. Mia couldn't shake the feeling that something incredible was brewing not just with the event but within herself. Just then, her phone buzzed loudly on the table, cutting through the intense focus. A message from her classmate read, "I'm in. Bring back the nursing spirit. We'll talk details later." "That's great news," Rachel exclaimed, reading over Mia's shoulder. "The more people you have involved, the better." "I can't shake this feeling, though," Mia said, biting her lip. "It almost feels like we're racing against something." "And what exactly are we racing against?" Rachel asked pointedly, her tone shifting to one of concern. "Time?" Mia muttered uncertainly, her gaze drifting outside to the heavy rain. "Or possibly fear," Tom chimed in, pushing a well-worn notebook toward her. "We must embrace what this moment can mean, not shy away from it." Just then, a loud clap of thunder shook the apartment, rattling the windows. The intensity knocked the air from Mia's lungs. She closed her eyes, trying to steady her breathing. What if everything didn't go as planned? What if they failed? But just before doubt could fully take hold, she felt warmth surging back. "No matter what happens, we'll face it together," Mia whispered. "Exactly," Tom affirmed. "And remember, storms can bring growth." As she opened her eyes, something shifted within. Was this storm signaling change not just for their project, but for her very spirit? And what about the storm brewing around them? Was it just the rain, or was there more at play? Tomorrow, the skies might clear, but today, they were ready to brave the storm. Would the lightning help illuminate the path ahead, or would it strike in ways they never expected? Mia took a deep breath, feeling the tension in the room thicken like the clouds outside. Tom and Rachel were still buzzing with ideas, but Mia's mind was racing somewhere else. The storm had become more than just weather, it was an echo of her own turmoil. "Let's put a pin in the press release for a second," Mia said, her voice steady, though her heart was pounding. "I need to talk about why this is so important to me." Rachel and Tom paused, their eyes locked onto her. "I've seen my friends struggle. I've seen nurses burn out. This isn't just an event, it's a chance to save our community, to save each other," she said, her passion filling the air. With every word, she fought against the swirling doubts, determined to emerge on the other side. "I have friends who left the field because they couldn't stand the pressure. They were barely surviving, much less thriving, Mia continued, her voice quaking. I don't want to end up telling the same story. She looked at her friends, searching their faces for understanding. Rachel nodded slowly, her expression shifting from excitement to empathy. You're right. This is bigger than us. It's about everyone who feels they have no voice. Tom leaned in, watching Mia with a depth of concern. And what if we add a section to the event for personal testimonies? Like, let people speak about their experiences. It'll bring it all home. Mia's heart raced, the idea igniting a sense of urgency. Yes. People need to know our stories, they need to hear the truth behind the statistics. They need to feel it in their bones. As thunder crashed outside, a thought crossed Mia's mind. It wasn't just about them. It was about every nurse, every patient, and every family affected. What if their collective voices could harness enough energy to enact real change? Let us make it interactive, Rachel suggested, her energy rekindled. We could live stream testimonies. This could reach so many more people. The storm outside raged on, but within the four walls of Tom's cramped room, inspiration crackled like electricity. They bounced ideas off each other, creating a tapestry of hope and resilience, but as they plotted and planned, another sound broke through, soft but insistent. The phone buzzing again on the table drew Mia's gaze. With shaky hands, she picked it up, her heart instantly sinking. The text was from another classmate. I heard you're planning the event. Is it really worth it? Do you think you can make a difference? Mia's heart pounded in her chest. Doubts resurfaced like dark clouds rolling in. What if they were wasting their time? What if nothing changed despite all their efforts? She glanced at Tom and Rachel, wishing for their unwavering optimism to wash over her again. Ignore it, Rachel said, correctly sensing Mia's dismay. For every naysayer, there are 10 people who believe in this. Mia nodded, although the message lingered in her thoughts. Was she strong enough to lead this charge? Could she really stir the hearts of others? Let us put together a flyer right now, Tom said, breaking through the tension. Every great movement starts with one brave step. We will face whatever is out there together. Mia's lips pulled into a determined smile. As they worked, feeling the pulse of possibility in the air, the thunder outside morphed from a menacing drumroll to an exhilarating backing track. With a spirit reignited, Mia felt ready to confront whatever awaited them, even if it meant tearing through her own doubts. But as they finalized the flyer, a flicker of unease crept into Mia's gut. What if there were challenges ahead that could shake their resolve? The storm was still brewing outside, a fierce reminder that change was rarely easy. The horizon might look clearer tomorrow, but tonight, they were stepping into the unknown, hand in hand. Could they rise to the challenge, or would they be washed away with the storm? Mia glanced at the flyer one last time, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and dread. It felt strange to hold something so tangible that represented an effort so deeply personal. This is it, she whispered, more to herself than anyone else. Tom and Rachel nodded, a sense of unity filling the room. Tomorrow is just the beginning, Rachel said, her voice bright with hope. But as the adrenaline rushed through her veins, Mia could still hear the echoes of doubt from her classmate's text. What if they were just shouting into the void? Her mind raced with scenarios of failure and disappointment. Let us go over everything one more time, Tom suggested, breaking through her spiral of anxiety. They pulled themselves into a tight circle, sharing their thoughts as if to shield themselves from the storm outside and the doubts that threatened to creep in. Each idea they shared felt like a step forward. Mia was surprised at the way their momentum built, her worries momentarily forgotten. We'll need volunteers, she said. People who want to share their stories. We can create a safe space, where everyone feels supported. We should also reach out to local media, Rachel added excitedly. If we could frame it right, it could gain real traction. Gain some visibility. As they worked, the storm raged on outside. The wind howled against the window panes, and the sound of rain drumming on the roof felt like a pulse, magnifying the atmosphere around them. Each streak of lightning illuminated the room, sparking inspiration in Mia. She thought of all the voices drowning in the chaos of healthcare. This isn't just our story. It represents the fight of so many, she said passionately. Tom nodded, but there was a glimmer of fear in his eyes. Yeah, but what if we face backlash? Not everyone will agree with us. That fear hung in the air. Mia swallowed hard. We can't let fear guide us, she asserted, her voice stronger than ever. If we believe in it, we need to push through. Our friends are counting on us. Rachel's brow furrowed, a hint of worry appearing on her face. What if the backlash is too much? What if we can't handle it? Mia felt a pang in her gut. It was a question that loomed larger and larger as they approached the day of the event. A question she hadn't fully confronted yet. Then we handle it together, she replied, her determination boiling through. Every challenge we face will only make us stronger. If we can't lift each other up, what's the point? Tom took a deep breath. Okay, he said, his voice steadier now. But we need to prepare ourselves for that. We need to be resilient. As they discussed strategies for potential obstacles, moments of doubt floated around them, but so did moments of profound connection. They shared fears, dreams, and stories that bonded them tighter than the thunder rumbling above. Suddenly, Mia's phone buzzed again, the light reflecting off her face like an unwelcome shadow. She hesitated, dread washing over her. Would it be another discouraging message? With trembling fingers, she opened it. It was a message from her mentor, a respected nurse who had influenced her path. I heard about your event. You'll make a difference. Just remember, every voice counts. Tears pricked at Mia's eyes as hope flooded back in. She believes in us. The realization ignited something powerful within her. Let us share her message, she suggested, a spark of excitement alighting her spirit. We can use her words to inspire others. With their energy renewed, they rallied again, finding strength in each other's presence. A sense of clarity washed over Mia, like the storm finally breaking. This wasn't just about them. It was about every nurse who felt unheard and every person yearning for transformation. But just as they began to laugh and map out the next steps, a deafening crack of thunder shook the walls, threatening to draw them back to their fears. Are we really ready for this? Tom asked, his voice barely audible over the storm. Mia steadied herself, feeling the adrenaline course through her. We have to be, she replied fiercely. Together, we can turn this storm into a wave of change. As they prepared for what lay ahead, a new wave of determination washed over Mia. But the shadows of doubt still lingered, whispering questions she couldn't ignore. They were teetering on the edge of something greater, and the decision to leap was about to define them. What if they became the voice of transformation? What if their bravery could ignite a spark far bigger than themselves? But would they find the strength to silence those fears before the storm hit? The morning light broke through the clouds the following day, painting the sky in shades of soft lavender and warm gold. Mia stood in front of the mirror, rehearsing her speech for the 100th time. The nerves twisted in her stomach, but today felt different. The storm had cleared, and with it, the weight of yesterday's doubts began to lift. As she applied a little extra gloss to her lips, her phone buzzed beside her, a group message from Tom and Rachel. It's showtime. Let us meet at the venue. We're ready to make some noise. Their enthusiasm crackled through the screen, adding fuel to her fire. Walking to the auditorium, the familiar landmarks of her neighborhood faded into a blur. The trees swayed gently, and children laughed as they played. This was home, her roots, but today, they felt like a launching pad into the unknown. When she arrived, the space was still being set up. Tables decorated with colorful tablecloths lined the hall, adorned with pamphlets and banners showcasing nursing stories. Tom and Rachel were hustling about, adjusting lights and testing mics. The energy in the room pulsed like a heartbeat, vibrant and alive. "Mia." Rachel waved her over, her excitement infectious. "We were just talking about how to kick things off. You ready to inspire some people?" "More than ever," Mia replied, feeling a spark of confidence resonate within her. As the clock ticked closer to start time, more faces filled the seats. Friends, family, even a few strangers were gathering, all drawn by the promise of change. And with each new person that walked through the door, Mia's heart raced a little faster. The room buzzed with chatter, but when the first speaker took the stage, an electric hush fell over the audience. It wasn't just about stories, it was about connection. The first few tales shared were deeply personal, filled with heartache and resilience. Mia felt tears prick at her eyes. These were lives intertwined with hers, all of them survivors. "I hope you all can hear my voice today," a nurse said, her voice crackling with emotion. "We don't just want to be heard, we need to be understood." Mia's heart swelled. She could see empathy ripple across the audience, nods of agreement punctuating the air. This was exactly what they had envisioned, a safe space to share, to heal, to change the narrative. When it was Mia's turn, she felt the weight of 1,000 eyes on her. Cooling sweat rolled down her back as she stepped up to the mic. Taking a deep breath, she focused on the faces in the crowd. "I stand here not just for myself but for all of us, the nurses, the caregivers, everyone who has felt invisible in this system," she began, her voice steady. She shared her own story, the struggle of navigating a broken healthcare system while holding on to hope. Each word felt like an anchor, pulling her deeper into vulnerability. As she recounted the struggles they faced, gasps and murmurs echoed through the crowd. She could see people absorbing her words like a parched desert soaking in rain, but just as the momentum swelled, Mia noticed a man in the back. He shifted uncomfortably, arms crossed, an expression of disdain etched on his face. Doubt crept back into her mind like a shadow. What if he was there to ridicule? What if all this would collapse in on itself? As if sensing her thoughts, Rachel interjected, speaking passionately about the impact of community support. "This is not just a personal fight, it's a communal battle for dignity and respect. We need allies, not enemies." That brought Mia back to clarity. She continued, fueled by the warmth of connection and encouragement. The room buzzed with a unified energy, a symphony of voices rising together. Then, just as the event felt as if it couldn't get any more powerful, the man in the back, laughing at a joke shared among friends, stood up. His voice cut through the air, harsh and unwavering. "You really think this will change anything? People don't care about a bunch of sob stories." Caught off guard, Mia's heart sank. Had they opened a door just to be met with scorn? Yet this wasn't just about her. It was about everyone who had faced the same harsh words. Turning to the crowd, she felt the silence thick and palpable, then she took a step forward. "Maybe not everyone cares," Mia said, her voice stronger than the doubt that had settled over her. "But today, we've come together to make sure that someone does. Together, we're a force that cannot be ignored." The crowd erupted into supportive cheers and applause, but inside, her mind raced. Would they crumble under scrutiny and backlash? Could they turn this moment into a real movement, transforming harsh laughter into heartfelt acknowledgement? As the event continued, Mia's heart beat in rhythm with the voices around her, but fears of resistance still lingered. They were launching into something monumental, but would it resonate? Would they shatter that man's laughter with their light? Mia took a deep breath, stepping firmly into the storm that lay ahead. But a bigger question loomed. What came next? The response, the change, or perhaps an even harsher truth? Mia stood backstage, her heart pounding like a drum. The event had flowed with far more momentum than she could have hoped for. She watched the crowd from the shadows as they clapped and laughed, their faces filled with hope, their hearts open to change. But then, the heckler's words echoed in her mind. Would they let cynicism quench their fire? She couldn't shake the feeling that she had to do more to turn the tide. The warmth of community surrounded her, but she sensed an undercurrent of tension, too. Taking a deep breath, she stepped back onto the stage, the spotlight warming her face. I know that for some, these stories may seem like a cry in the dark. But imagine if we turned that darkness into light, she called out, her voice firm. Together, we can be the light. We can create a future where no one feels unseen, not one nurse, not one patient, not one family. The crowd erupted in applause, but she felt that single pair of arms crossed, that disapproving stare. She locked eyes with the man and something shifted, a pulse of urgency thrumming through her veins. You may think our words are just that, words. But they're seeds. They grow, they spread, they change hearts. Silence fell again as she continued. These aren't just sob stories, they're cries for help. Cries for each other. We all have choices. We can choose to ignore or we can choose to stand up, hand in hand. As she spoke, she saw him hesitate, that resolute expression wavering just a bit. Let us change the narrative together. Someone shouted from the crowd, and the roar that followed jolted something inside Mia. Feeling the infectious energy surging through her, she raised her voice further. Let us plant those seeds today. Let us commit to being the advocates our community needs. Tom and Rachel stepped on stage alongside her, their presence bolstering her confidence, their eyes filled with pride. We stand together, Tom added. United for compassion and change. Rachel smiled wide. Who will join us? Who will fight for those who can't fight for themselves? One by one, hands rose from the crowd, lifting like a chorus to a symphony. Count us in. Came a call from the back, bursting forth like a tidal wave of optimism. That man, he hesitated, then slowly unclasped his arms, raising a hand tentatively. Mia's heart soared. Every voice matters here, every story matters. She said, her own voice cracking slightly with emotion. Let us use our experiences to build that change and push the limits beyond what we thought possible. Suddenly, the storm outside had become a distant memory. Whatever obstacles lay ahead, doubt, backlash felt minor under the strength of their collective hope. With each step forward from both the crowd and Mia's friends, they were weaving a tapestry of resilience, something powerful enough to withstand the toughest storms. Laughs exchanged, hands clapping, people engaging with each other, a community forming right here, right now. The atmosphere shimmered with renewed determination, and as Mia stepped back to allow others to share, she felt lighter, the weight of uncertainty lifting, replaced by the thrill of possibilities. Hours later, as the event wrapped up, tears sparkled in her eyes, tears of joy. People were sharing their experiences, standing up to tell their stories, igniting a movement that could no longer be silenced. Tom walked over, a radiant smile on his face. You did it, Mia. We did it. Look at what we started. Rachel joined them, her arms open wide. This was just the beginning. We can take this momentum and run with it. Mia felt a warmth flood through her heart, a deep and abiding connection with these two incredible people who had stood by her, her family. Yet, even behind the smiles lingered a question: what comes next? As they shared stories and plans, the sky outside was brilliantly lit, signaling a new dawn. It was a testament to the realization that together, they could create waves of change. Mia, Tom paused, pen poised above paper filled with notes they had gathered. Now how do we elevate this? Get more voices involved, more actions taken. Mia nodded vigorously. Let us reach out to the nursing schools across the state. Get student organizations involved. This is how we'll create ripples. This is how we keep going. Yes. Rachel exclaimed, wrapping an arm around Mia. We'll gather support, and together, we'll start a movement far bigger than just this event. In that moment, Mia understood deeply. Every beginning comes with uncertainty, but the spark ignited between them would grow into a wildfire of change. They stood at the forefront of transformation, ready to reshape narratives, together. As they departed the venue and stepped back into the world, the once threatened storm had become invigorating, their voices strong against the winds of doubt. It was a storm of change, and their determination would echo. "Now this is where we need to go," Mia said, lifting her head, heart swelling with hope. "Who's with me?" Unwavering in their resolve, they walked forward, hand in hand, fully prepared to face whatever awaited them with open hearts, united in purpose. Tomorrow, they would rise up a little stronger. Today's spark had become the roaring flame igniting the path to true change. And all around them, the world was ready to listen. You need to subscribe now to be part of this incredible journey and not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to truly feed the algorithm and keep these stories alive. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. We want to hear from you. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is our chance to make real change together.